Everyone is thrilled about the arrival of Evie, the newest member of the pig family, even Peppa herself. But what if we told you that Peppa and Evie might not get along so well in the future? In fact, the one who's most likely to become the baby's favorite sibling is George. One of the reasons for this is that Peppa, even though she's a pretty sweet girl most of the time, does have some personality and behavior issues. For example, she can be incredibly arrogant. The star of the show has had many moments where it's clear she only thinks about herself and believes she's better than everyone else, especially other kids. She's gotten into plenty of fights with Susie and always over silly things, like the time Peppa accused her best friend of cheating in a game just because she kept losing. That fight made them stop talking for quite a while, and they only made up when Daddy Pig had both of them apologize at the same time. Peppa never really thought about what happened or realized she was the one in the wrong. If that's how she treats kids her own age, imagine how she acts with someone younger. She's also been mean to George plenty of times, just because she's older and feels entitled to boss him around. When her little brother, at the time the baby of the family, got sick, Peppa didn't even seem to care and acted like it wasn't a big deal. Her biggest concern was the noise he made during the night. There were also moments when Peppa wouldn't let George play with her just because they liked different things. So it's only a matter of time before she starts treating Evie the same way. And that's definitely a good reason why the youngest pig sibling might not grow too fond of her. As a result, the one who's most likely to become the baby's favorite sibling is none other than George. Want to see how this bond develops in future episodes of the show? Then stick around. George's biggest love in life is dinosaurs, and that's no secret to anyone. Every single episode he's in has him playing with Mr. Dinosaur and talking about the extinct species. And we actually think there's a strong chance this dinosaur obsession might get passed down to his little sister, simply because the two will spend so much time playing together. When that happens, their friendship will grow even stronger. George will finally have someone to share his passion or obsession with, and that'll make him super happy. Just imagine loving something so much and not knowing anyone who's as into it as you are. That'd be pretty sad, right? Well, that's basically been George's situation all his life, but that could all change if Evie ends up loving dinosaurs just as much. The two will be inseparable, and the little girl will start to look like a mini female version of George, especially when they both dress up as dinosaurs at the same time. With that in mind, wouldn't it be amazing if they actually made an episode about this? Imagine if George and Evie decided to start their own dinosaur fan club to attract other kids like them. And in the end, they'd probably realize they're still the only ones who love dinosaurs that much and go back to playing just the two of them. Not in a sad way, but in a super adorable one. Another thing that could help bring these two closer is the possibility that, now that Evie's been born, time might actually start moving in the Peppa Pig universe. For the past 20 years, neither Peppa nor any other character has aged in any meaningful way. She and George have only had one birthday this whole time, even though there have been tons of Christmas and other holiday episodes. But the arrival of baby Evie might be what finally makes time move forward for real. Think about it. No one ever expected the pig family to have a new baby after 2 decades, and nothing else this major had ever changed in the show before. Everything's going to be different now, like a cycle has been broken, and if that can happen, anything else can too. For example, the main character could actually start growing up, along with the rest of the cast. If that happens, Peppa will soon leave preschool and move on to elementary school. Madame Gazelle's school is only for really young kids, so she'll have to start attending a new school designed for older animals. Meanwhile, George will stay in the same preschool for a few more years, since he's still very young. And pretty soon, Evie will need to start school too. Peppa will spend less and less time with the both of them, while George and Evie grow even closer by playing together during school hours. But at least Peppa won't be completely alone. Her friends who are the same age will also move on to the new school, so she'll still get to hang out with many of them, while also getting the chance to meet new kids from different places. If you'd love to see this happen, drop a comment below with #school. Even so, at home, the oldest little pig in the pig family is going to feel left out by her siblings. The three of them will still play together, but the number of times Peppa manages to join in on the fun will slowly start to drop until she eventually stops even asking to play with the little ones. There are 2 main reasons this might happen. The first is that Peppa will start to feel like a total outsider around the other two, and like she's not really wanted. It's a feeling no kid should ever go through, but it happens in a lot of families and friend groups. Little Peppa will end up really down, thinking she must be doing something wrong. But we've got to remember, even though it's a sad situation, we can't really blame George and Evie for it. They're just little kids, and they won't realize their older sister is feeling this way. It's not like they'll be mean to her, they'll just naturally focus more on each other than on Peppa. It'll be one big misunderstanding, and a pretty tough one. Eventually, everything will get sorted out, but only after things get a little worse first. Remember how we said there were 2 reasons why Peppa might stop playing with her siblings? We already covered the first one, but the second is that as she gets older, she'll start to lose interest in the kid stuff that George and Evie still love doing. Peppa's going to start acting like she's all grown up, just like her older cousin Chloe. That'll be the beginning of Peppa's rebellious phase, where she starts acting more like a teenager, talking back to her parents and being rude to her siblings. The lack of attention she got from George and Evie before will be one of the key reasons she starts going down that path. Feeling lonely, Peppa will probably start looking for new friends her own age, and there's a good chance she'll meet people who take her in the wrong direction. That'll make her even more rebellious. She might start disrespecting her siblings, arguing with her parents, skipping school, and doing all kinds of not-so-great stuff. And that will only make her relationship with the younger ones worse, since they definitely don't deserve that kind of treatment. But here's the twist. Maybe this whole situation will be what finally makes George and Evie see things from Peppa's perspective and start caring more about her. That could be the key to helping Peppa break out of her rebellious phase. Ironically, at first, the one who probably won't like Evie is George, and for a reason a lot of people have already guessed. He's not going to be the baby of the family anymore. In other words, he'll stop being the family favorite and will now become the middle child. All this time, George has enjoyed the perks of being the youngest, getting the most attention from mom and dad, while Peppa, the oldest, had to take on more responsibility and got pushed aside. A great example of this is when she went to Edmund Elephant's party just to help set everything up with the older kids, making sure the little ones had fun. Now, George will have to take over that role because Evie is the one who'll be getting all the love and attention from their parents. Becoming a middle child, George won't be used to living the way Peppa has been for so long, and since he's still just a little kid, it wouldn't be too surprising if he ended up blaming the new baby for all of it and resenting her at first. But later on, all of these experiences will actually help strengthen their bond. Eventually, George will adjust to his new responsibilities and realize it's just part of growing up. And from that point on, he'll really start to connect with Evie and enjoy playing with her. He'll start to see himself in his little sister, and she'll see herself in him too. Since they're close in age, they'll end up liking the same kinds of things: cartoons, movies, toys, games, and jokes. They'll have a ton in common, way beyond just their love for dinosaurs. Just like you love our videos. And if you want to keep getting more content about your favorite shows, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've already talked about how Peppa might start feeling left out now that George and Evie are becoming such close friends. But there's an even bigger issue on the horizon for the show's main character. If she already felt sidelined before, just for being the oldest when George was her only sibling, imagine how it'll feel now that she has 2 younger siblings. That means double the responsibility. Sure, George won't be as spoiled as before and will have to face his own struggles as the middle child, but really, he'll just be feeling what Peppa has already been dealing with for years. Meanwhile, the oldest daughter will have even more chores, like running errands while Mommy Pig takes care of baby Evie, and so on. And while her responsibilities grow, the attention she gets from Mommy and Daddy Pig will only shrink. The tough part is, you can't really blame them. They'll be genuinely overwhelmed, trying to take care of a baby and work to keep the household running. After all, if the parents don't handle it, who will? All of this will also play a big role in Peppa's rebellious side starting to come out, because anyone who's overworked and barely noticed is bound to feel angry or frustrated. Thankfully, we already know the Pig family is going to figure things out in the end. After all, this is a kid's show where everything works out in the end. Want to stick around with us? Then here's a fun idea. Why not click on one of the 2 videos we left right here on your screen? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.